Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, this is going to be today's topic, and it's for the 7th. Sorry, I was away yesterday, and there was some funkiness going on with the internet. So, I've learned that don't force it, just let it rest, tend to other things. And so, that's what I did yesterday. So, glad to be back, though. Let's get into this. So, we are starting out with the message for the 7th that seems like it has a lot to do with. I always think of this as a character who feels as if they're very vulnerable, they're very exposed, they've been kicked out of the lovely garden space, and all they've got is the bed sheet wrapped around them. They feel foolish, they've got the court jester's hat on. It's almost somebody who has, like, regrets the morning after or something, and they're like, this is a walk of shame. How could I have been so foolish? But this says the universe is like, well, what do you mean? What is there to be ashamed of? We have this jack in the box, but what's opening and popping out of the jack in the box is this golden light and these doves. There is a real sense of support. This is kind of like saying a character. We also have the Fool card laying down over here. We have a character, hey Tiffany, a character who has really been shaming themselves for whatever they perceive was foolish. Maybe this is somebody who had the, bravery to go, tell somebody that they were interested in them. Maybe somebody, asked somebody out. Right now we have a feminine, but this is, so I'm going to read it as a she. She may feel foolish, feel exposed. Why did I love that person? Why did I tell them that I love them? Why did I ask them out? Why did I do that thing? I feel so stupid. And the universe is countering with, what do you mean? That was a beautiful thing. You gave somebody your emotions, your heart, in a way that was true for you. That's not something to be feeling foolish about. And surprise, which you actually will receive in return for that, is a peace of mind knowing that even if it's not reciprocated, at least you don't have to wonder when you're 85 years old, I wonder what would have happened if I had told that person how I felt, or I wonder what would have happened if I had given that relationship a shot. This could be that she tried it one more time with somebody and it ended up still the same. And she's like, oh my God. Oh. And this says, you got peace of mind because if something didn't work out, at least now you know. So there's really nothing to shame ourselves over. Let's go ahead and go with a totally different deck. Hang on. I'm really run out of space. Fabiola, thank you, Angel. You are so generous. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. You guys are so lovely. I appreciate you so much, Fabiola. Thank you for that beautiful donation. We have a 5 of Cups going to the 6 of Cups. We have the Empress going to the Emperor. If anything, the way I see this and the reassurance from the universe is that, first off, she doesn't know where things are going to go. Reaching out to somebody first, because right now I'm starting to think, did she send a message to somebody? She's like, what did I do? Maybe I had a hot bath last night and relaxed, and then I got out and, turned on some nice music, and then I really felt just in benevolent energy, and then I decided to send a message to that ex and say, listen, I hope you're doing well. I hated the way we ended. And now the next day she's like, what did I do? Well, the universe says you sent something kind, something loving, something encouraging. You sent out the best of yourself into the universe. Sometimes that's exactly what it takes to heal a rift. Whether it's going to heal a rift with them precisely, this actually says that it just might, but it might also have simply cleared karma. We go from, so each of these cards has 2 meanings on it. So we go from the 5 of Cups and then it leads to the 6 of Cups. You notice that we have broken energy. It's actually being sealed back together. He is holding the pieces along with her, and we see like this divine little laser helping to seal this back together. The 6 of Cups is returning soulmates. An Emperor Empress energy doesn't get to be a stronger bond than that. Like that is a relationship that lasts. So I kind of think for this storyline, her action is healing a huge rift. Now, I don't know if this is specifically with him. We have a Knight of Coins going to the Queen of Coins. This actually is, okay, so forgive me. I don't get to pick the cards. The story that we get is the story that we get. She sent this message a long time ago. It was some kind of message that was very raw and very real, and it explained how vulnerable she felt. It might not have been a nice message. It might have been a message for someone who needed to reclaim something, to feel like a queen again. It happened a long time ago. And since she sent that, even though on one hand she felt really stupid for doing it, it also expressed who she was, her status as a queen. Now, please remember, I don't read for genders, but in this, I'm going to keep saying she because of what we're getting. But this could be a man just as easy. This could be same sex couples just as easily. But we got to keep our character lines straight so we can follow the story. So that's why I'm going to keep saying she. She is now in this place where she looks back and kind of cringes, like, I can't believe I sent that stupid letter. I shouldn't have done it, but it was how I felt. And I just needed to get it off my chest. And maybe it was a message about how crummy she was made to feel. Maybe she felt, ashamed or embarrassed. Maybe it's like, I loved you openly and truly, and I got nothing in return for it. And I've never felt more, like, I guess I shouldn't have been who I was, but I don't know how to be any different. It could have just been a very vulnerable message. But that happened quite some time ago. Warrior Princess, you angel, thank you, honey. Thank you so much. You are so generous always. Thank you, everybody. Really good to see you guys. We have the Strength card going to the Hermit. We have the Queen of Coins going to the King of Coins. Look, in this story, you notice how everything she touches the hearts even of this mannequin, right? So she sent this message a long time ago, and it was to validate how she felt. And it was so raw and so real and so heartfelt. It takes a lot, I think, to be able to reveal our vulnerabilities. She did that with someone. She took off any mask, any ego. It wasn't a poor me, how could you hurt me so kind of message. No. She might have said, I was really wounded because I've really loved you, something along those lines. To be able to say exactly how we feel about an experience, and still to say the reason I feel this way is because of how much emotion I carried about this situation. That's huge. But then she also let them go. This was a goodbye note in a lot of ways. It was I guess I have more to learn in life. She wrote something a long time ago, and then she left it alone. That was it. It was a kind of a peace out message. And I don't think she pulled any punches about how hard it was to walk away. I think she was really honest about that also. The Hermit walks their own path. The Strength card, it takes strength to do that. It takes strength to let somebody go, even, especially somebody that we love. But she turned her attention to other things. You notice, even though this is a Queen of Pentacles, once again, but going to the King of Pentacles this time, she decided to just fully keep working on things. Here we saw her pregnant. Here we see her giving birth to the baby. That doesn't have to mean that she had a child, although it could be that. To me, this represents more of like she has, by virtue of her saying her truth, it made her able to get that off her plate, off her chest. And she's been able to continue moving forward. She's more at balance in her own divine masculine, divine feminine energies. And she's been very successful. I mean, this oftentimes is somebody who's built quite an empire for themselves. She has given her energy more to growth now, is what I think the baby represents. And what's interesting is the way her words impacted someone. I think it gave them the same permission to do their growth, because she's run in parallel again and again with, we'll say, someone who is her equal match. It does not have to be the person that she wrote some letter to. It doesn't have to be the person she revealed kind of the core of her soul to. I still can't establish that yet. Let's see if we can now. Universe, can you help me understand? Was it her and a particular person? I only read these cards in the upright because there's always two messages. We have a 5 of Wands going to the 6 of Wands. I think it was them I think it's them again. She found her identity, I'll say, and her confidence maybe a little bit before they did. But something about being vulnerable enough, it's kind of like the rite of passage. Okay, let's use the idea of like, if you've ever taken like, say, a dance class or jazzercise class or a martial arts class or something where you have to learn the steps. The first time you come in, you're like all over the place, right? People are raising their hands and clapping, and you're like down here, doing some little pump of your feet and steps, and it's totally wrong. It's just a mess. Same thing if you've ever taken, martial arts. Oh my gosh, you're supposed to hop on, punch and stuff, and you just look a mess, and it's embarrassing, and it feels really stupid. But you keep coming back, and you learn the steps right, and then you learn how to put the emotion into it, and you gain the comfort zone in yourself. But at first, you feel really out of place. That's kind of what this was. It was like she did the uncomfortable thing of like revealing herself, showing up in class that first day, showing up in a romance and laying herself bare and giving it the best she had. And it took courage to do it. And it also took courage to say, well, I did the best I could, even if I guess we never got the steps right. But I'm glad I at least tried it. She got into that headspace before they did. So certainly this Five of Wands, this was two people that did help each other. They helped each other get to the next stage. A Five of Wands is about, not just blockages. It's the person we spar with. It's a person that we're practicing things with. And so it can be difficult. It can be hard. One of her big lessons was to be that vulnerable, to lay down how she felt, even though maybe she felt stupid saying it, and then have that courage to walk away and then realize my life's going to be awesome. I'm going to be able to do anything I want. I'm going to be able to live a good life. That was her journey to becoming this powerful version of herself. But a Six of Wands says, well, in this case, six is a balancing number, and we see two people. He's behind her, and he's perhaps been doing something similar. Again, I'm not 100% sure that he is the he that she expressed her love to once upon a time. I'm still looking for that. We have a King of Coins again, and we have the Page of Coins. We have the King of Cups, and we have the Page of Cups. This is my favorite. I love that baby. Yeah, the shape of that baby is just such a cute little roundy blob. Oh, I just love the shape of that baby. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck. Well, I have three favorite cards in this deck. Okay, so we keep coming up with the King of Pentacles, right? And she's come out as a Queen of Pentacles. But now we have this King of Cups. I knew this was going to get difficult because she learned a really important lesson giving her heart to somebody and then having the courage to walk away. She helped them, most definitely, to, like, her words, even if they didn't respond, didn't reply, her laying herself bare like that. Okay, I'm thinking of that song. It's a country song. And P.S. This is Austin, and I still love you. And it's a song about like a woman who's not ready to be in a relationship, so she walks away from him. But like after a couple of years, she calls and he doesn't answer, and it's his answering machine. It's a great song. It's like the refrain of what he says, in his answering machine. If it's Friday night, I'm whatever at the bar, and something about first thing Saturday, I'm going fishing. But P.S. if this is Austin, I still love you. If it's anybody else, listen for the beep, you know what to do. And I feel like, by the way, I've totally misquoted that, and I don't know who sings the song, but it's a great song. I kind of feel like that was the equivalent, like however she wrote to them, and this could have been after a huge gap of time since that song comes to mind. She may have been the person who reached out to someone, and they received that message from her and were like, oh my God, after all this time, she actually felt that much for me. And it changed them. It helped them. But we got two kings now. She's ending up with somebody. But let's go back over to that cup card. I just don't know if it's them. I almost feel like her being able to love them and lay herself bare like that helped them. But then I almost feel like who she ends up with is a different person. You notice that that king holds the baby. And remember, she gave birth to a baby herself, like put her energy towards something new. Six of Swords going to the Seven of Swords. I really feel like whomever she sent that loving letter to, it took them a long time to absorb it and say, oh my God, she was willing to lay herself on the line for me. I ran for a long time. I hid for a long time. I lied for a long time. But I finally got there. I finally on the same page. Okay, we got to figure out who is who in this, because she is ending up with one of these two kings. One of these two becomes the emperor. My thought is that she has, like, this could be the situation where she actually does hear from them eventually. And soulmates doesn't mean that they're in love and get married. The emperor and the empress definitely do. It almost feels like there will be a wonderful, heck, I mean, one time she could have loved them so much, been brokenhearted over them. All this time passes, and now they're coming back around to say thank you for giving me that. You helped me more than you know. But at the same time, she and they are not going to wind up in a romance. She's meant to be with somebody else. Let me see. Who's our King of Pentacles? Okay, they are the King of Pentacles. They are the ones who got in their own way. Five of Swords. They are the villain in the top hat who sabotaged this relationship and ran from it and hurt her badly in the process. Okay, so that's who they are. So tell me, who is our King of Cups? Because I'm thinking now that's probably her emperor. And seriously, we just got the Empress. Okay, there's the person. There's the one. Oh, I'm so glad it's the one with the sweet baby. Maybe she gets to have a baby with them. I don't know, but I just love that. So that's who her person is. That's the individual. Look at how they celebrate. They celebrate growth. They're emotionally available. So hold on, universe, give me the message on how do we step back and see this whole story? Because I know how I see it, but let me just see if there's something else to factor in before I open my big old mouth again. Okay, Judgment and Six of Cups. So quick recap. We know that she had a lot of emotion for somebody. She gave the best of herself. And that person that she gave so much to, the King of Pentacles, the person who could have and should have been the one she thought she was going to marry, they were, for whatever reason, somebody who decided to block her, put up all kinds of silent treatment. They were kind of an ass about it too. The villain in the top hat, this person says harsh things, ruins things. It's like if any little things set them off, they walked away from her, but deep down they were always going to anyway, because this person was not mature. This person could not handle being vulnerable. I feel as if things ended badly, even though there was all this love. And then it's like she touched one of their little raw nerves that she didn't know they had. They could have been deeply sensitive, because what happens when, we have insecurities, but we act like we don't, then if somebody says one thing, she may never have even known what she said that made them become a gigantic asshole. I feel like they wouldn't acknowledge or admit, well, she said something that triggered a fear in me, my fear of inadequacy. And so I decided to punish her and sabotage this. Wouldn't even tell her why, because of course I'm not going to admit that I have a fear and inadequacy. So I'm going to hide from her and run even from the truth of the fact that she triggered me. I've always been scared I'm not enough. She said something that she doesn't even know was my trigger, and now I decided to punish her and ruin this connection over it. Because I think it was very painful for her to be treated that way, especially to not understand what the hell did I do or what happened. Over time, I can see why she finally sends him that letter, because it was probably very confusing. I don't know what happened. I only know I loved you so much. And she bears herself so, one more time to them, and then lets them go. And she moves on with life. She really moves on with life, even though she kind of just, I'm going to say, like, wishes them well, and she births herself a new life. Over time, we see them finally being changed by the fact that I had my insecurities and then I ruined things with her. But she was hurt by me. That, like, oh my God, she was soft enough to tell me that she loved me, which I knew she did. And it was my insecurities that wrecked this. And I treated her bad. but she still had what it took to love me. Okay, that's a pretty huge gift to have been given. No wonder it finally hits home for them. And they do come back into her life. And I think that it does heal something in her, because our big message here is it's not to take back a potential romantic partner. It's to realize, and this could be the first time she'll understand it when they do, and they will be reaching out, because this says it's reconciling with a soulmate. But you notice how different it is. She's a grown up now. They're still actually a kid. They're a little bit behind her in their ability to maybe know themselves, get over their insecurities, those kinds of things. Meeting them and having all of this happen was it tested her also, but she kind of passed the test in a way where she was able to say, but I loved them, and I'm not going to pretend I didn't. And I'm going to lay myself bare one last time and tell them how I really felt about them, so that if there was any question mark, or if I somehow hurt them, they need to know, like, I wasn't trying to hurt anybody. I actually really, really loved them. Especially because I don't think she hears anything from them for quite a long time. That actually was probably a blessing, because it allowed her to move on, and she was supposed to move on, even though it says soulmates will find a way to, like, either heal or close chapters or let go of the lessons. But it's also really important to move forward, because soulmates are the people, like, let's put it this way, the people that we went to school with, that were our best friends. When we grow up and we go to different jobs and then we go marry people, like, is our most important relationship still with our group of high school friends? No, our most important relationships become our children, become our partner, become the people that, we're building a house with and living, our intimate lives with. But at one point in time, our most important relationships were our high school group of friends, right? We thought about them more than anybody. But then we grow beyond that and we get into higher levels of commitment. This, at one point, was super important, the most important relationship, certainly of her life. But this is not to diminish it, but it's to say it's the equivalent of when we graduate beyond this. It's like we've left high school. Now we're in big time. And that's where we start to connect with somebody super emotionally available. And that's when we start to look at relationships and we go, oh no, I wouldn't have wanted to, like, be in a marriage maybe with one of my buddies from high school that I used to run amok with. I mean, we did stupid stuff. We weren't mature. We challenged each other. We got into mischief, but I don't want mischief for my life partner. I want somebody that, doesn't make foolish decisions. We don't work a job for 3 months just to save every penny we've got. So then we hop in the car and we drive to Graceland because we love Elvis music that summer, and we get fired from our jobs, but we say, oh, it was so great. It was such a good time. That's fine to do with high school friends, but we probably don't want to make those life decisions with a partner that we're going to marry. That's the difference between these are still important connections, and it's worthy of healing them at some point in life, but this isn't the right one. This is the right one for the long-term commitment for her. You know what? I actually really enjoyed this one. It was so good, because it doesn't say that this person from her past wasn't super valuable. It doesn't, I mean, yeah, they were an ass and they were a villain for their own reasons, but it gives a whole different perspective on why someone behaves a certain way, but also how could we possibly forgive that? Well, the same reason we can forgive our high school buddy for running amok, because once we're grown beyond it, it's kind of like, yeah, and I know that you stole my, whatever favorite hoodie. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I know. You took it when we moved away and went to college. Well, I wanted something to remember you by. Yeah, well, you shouldn't have stolen my favorite hoodie. It becomes the equivalent of that. I think these two could actually still somehow be almost friends, but it's not going to impact this incredible relationship that she is having with an emperor. And I think that this is kind of like all of this. Remember, this was our first card. So this is really the message for the 7th. This is the moment that a character is at. This is in the upcoming future. She's dealing with the embarrassment of, God, I can't believe I reached out to them. And the universe is already saying, you don't need to be embarrassed that you did that. That was a beautiful thing. You said something true, you said something real, and those real words that were said from the heart will have a major impact or have had a major impact. She might just now be realizing this on the 7th, that the thing she was so embarrassed that she had bothered to send a message to them, someone who treated her crappily, she might just now be finding out why the universe said, no, you don't need to feel embarrassed. You did a good thing there. You said something that has a big impact, a positive impact in someone, in a soulmate, no less. You did good. You spoke from the heart. That's the reassurance of the message in this. And this is what's yet to come. So really awesome one. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here, everybody. Really good to see you. Tony Pony, how are you, honey? Great to see you. Empress Energy, always a delight. Thank you again so much, Warrior Princess. Christine DTR, great to see you, sweetheart. Thank you for all your kindness. Spread Happiness, Emerald LD. Thank you, Spread Happiness. You are so generous. Thank you, honey. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate all of you. Hey, Danae. Nice to see you, Mountain Dreamer. Diamond, wonderful to see you also, honey. Hey, have a beautiful Friday. Cassiopeia, great to see you. I love your name, too. Akanchua, please forgive me if I said your name wrong, but I'm so glad you're here at the first live. Welcome. Sagittarius, Leo. Hallelujah. Great to see you. Thanks for being here, honey. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Hey, San Juanita. Okay, I'll get around to that later today. Probably not till tonight. It's going to be a busy day. Brele, hi. Hey, Susan. Thank you again, Fabiola. Warrior Princess, you crack me up. You were born to embarrass yourself. Well, you are in good company, my dear. I do it on the daily. So we can start the shameless embarrassment club. OM, nice to see you. I'm sorry I didn't see you up there at the top. All right, you guys, have an awesome afternoon. Empress Energy, thank you again, sweethearts. Thank you. You're so generous. All right, you guys. Kung Fu Panda, I love that. Yeah, it's so right. Right back at you, Melissa. Thank you. All right, you guys, I've got to get to some of the zodiacs as well. I owed Aries a do-over, and so Aries, yours will come out right now. I've already recorded it. Was just still processing. And I also owe Leo. And then does anybody have a specific zodiac that they would most like to see next? Aries is already coming out, and then I'm going to do Leo. But if there's a couple that you guys are hungry for, let me know, because I'll do some today and then again some later on tonight. Pisces. All right, Rach, I got you, darling. I got you. Yes, no problem, honey. Victor, you want Pisces also? Okay, definitely. We'll do the Pisces ASAP then. In fact, maybe we'll go ahead and do Tony Pony. Got you. All right. So what I will do is release Aries. Then I will do the Leo, and then I'll probably do Pisces live. Okay. And all right, I see Capricorn and Sag votes also. All right, you guys, take care. I'll see you guys again real quick. Bye.